Look at you. Because if you thought this situation was already messy, you haven't seen anything yet. What was supposed to be a routine court appearance somehow turned into one of the most viral family controversies of the year. Not because a judge slammed a gavel, not because someone stormed out of the room, not because official documents revealed some shocking truth, but because two words, DNA leak, started trending at the exact same time court was in session. And when those words hit the timeline, the courtroom stopped being the center of the story. The internet took over. Why did whispers of a DNA document ignite so fast? Why did people claim Kandi were visibly upset? Why did observers frame Todd as stunned? And how did Riley Burruss start trending before the hearing had even adjourned? Most importantly, did something explosive actually happen? Or did the internet detonate a rumor and call it evidence? Welcome back to Lost Battles, where we slow down viral chaos and ask the uncomfortable questions nobody else wants to sit with. Let's ground this before the speculation runs wild again. This was a legal proceeding, structured, controlled, procedural. Courtrooms do not operate like reunion specials. Judges don't entertain theatrics. Every word spoken has weight, and every document referenced has a purpose, even if that purpose is administrative rather than dramatic. But here's the thing. When you combine a legal setting with a family dynamic that has played out publicly for years, tension is already baked into the narrative. And this family dynamic, it has history. We are talking about a mother-daughter relationship that has never been quiet. Mama Joyce has always been vocal about protecting her daughter, protective, blunt, unfiltered. Over the years, audiences have watched disagreements, reconciliations, and pointed remarks unfold under bright lights and camera angles. Add Todd into that mix, husband, producer, businessman, and every disagreement becomes a headline waiting to happen. The dynamic between Mama Joyce and Todd has never been simple, and because that tension has played out publicly before, people are primed to expect fireworks. So when the word DNA started circulating online during a live court session, people didn't pause. They assumed drama. Here's what sparked the wildfire. During the hearing, social media accounts began sharing screenshots of what they claimed was DNA-related paperwork. The images were blurry, the context was unclear, no official court stamp was visible, there was no confirmation from a clerk, no verified transcript, no public filing that immediately matched the claims. Yet within minutes, captions escalated. This changes everything. It's bigger than we thought. Courtroom chaos. Notice something important here. The escalation happened before confirmation. No official source verified that a dramatic revelation had taken place. No attorney released a statement. No judge issued a public order indicating explosive findings. But timing is powerful. The alleged document surfaced online at the exact same time the hearing was underway. That coincidence alone fueled suspicion. People began asking, how would someone know that? And who leaked it? And when questions stack without answers, narratives grow. Let's address the emotional trigger here. DNA is not a neutral word. It carries weight. Even when referenced in routine legal procedures, it feels personal. It feels intimate. It implies identity, legacy, inheritance, bloodlines, trust, loyalty. Even if the document referenced was administrative, even if it was simply procedural clarification, the word itself transforms the atmosphere. And when Riley's name was reportedly mentioned alongside that speculation, the emotional temperature spiked instantly. Because now it wasn't just legal paperwork, it was family. And family narratives move faster than facts ever could. Within hours, TikTok edits began circulating. Dramatic background music, freeze frames of Todd leaving the courthouse, old clips of Mama Joyce expressing distrust resurfaced and were stitched together with captions suggesting prophecy and payoff. No confirmed video of an outburst surfaced, no verified audio recording leaked, yet the storyline formed quickly. Confrontation, raised voices, stunned reactions. Why does that narrative catch so fast? Because people don't consume information in a vacuum, they consume it through history, and this family's history is already layered with visible tension. When you've watched public disagreements before, you're more likely to believe they happened again. Silence didn't help. Kandi did not immediately address the rumors. Todd exited quietly. Mama Joyce did not release a statement. In today's digital culture, silence doesn't read as neutrality. It reads as strategy, or damage control, or confirmation, whether that's fair or not. Then came the second wave, and this is where speculation evolved. Some online commentators began suggesting that the alleged DNA discussion wasn't about identity at all, but about financial structures, trust allocations, estate planning, authority, control. One viral comment read, "If this isn't about paternity, but about control, that changes the narrative." Control became the new buzzword. Because if the alleged reference was tied to legal or financial clarity, the implications feel broader. Now we're talking about who signs what, who benefits from what, who decides what. There is no verified legal document confirming this theory, no public filing substantiating those claims. But once financial speculation enters the conversation, engagement multiplies. Money plus family equals emotional amplification, and amplification feeds the algorithm. According to unverified posts from alleged attendees, the courtroom atmosphere was described as tense, not explosive, not theatrical, just tense. But tension in a courtroom carries more gravity than tension on a reality show set. Even subtle frustration can be interpreted as dramatic when filtered through social media commentary. Online legal professionals even chimed in cautiously, explaining that DNA documentation in legal proceedings can be routine, administrative, clarifying. Courts often reference sensitive materials without dramatic implications. But routine doesn't trend. Shock does. And right now, shock is what the timeline wants. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Even if nothing explosive was confirmed, perception alone has consequences. Sponsors monitor volatility. Brand partners monitor sentiment. Public figures monitor trending associations. When your name trends alongside DNA, court, and leak, the reputational ripple happens regardless of whether the claim is verified. Perception becomes currency, and in high-profile disputes, perception can outweigh documentation. That doesn't mean something dramatic occurred. It means reaction became louder than record. A counter-narrative began forming quietly beneath the chaos. What if this entire viral eruption says more about internet culture than about the family itself? What if the so-called DNA bombshell was simply a routine procedural reference, amplified beyond recognition because the timing was dramatic? In the digital age, ambiguity multiplies, silence magnifies, speculation accelerates. And once the story leaves the courtroom and enters the algorithm, it no longer belongs to the legal system, it belongs to engagement. And engagement favors the most dramatic interpretation available. So what happens next? One possibility, clarity emerges. An official statement confirms that the online narrative exaggerated routine procedure. The storm fades, attention shifts elsewhere. Second possibility, more layers of speculation build. Archived clips resurface. Anonymous sources continue claiming insight. The narrative expands beyond its original spark. Third possibility, and this may be the most revealing, this becomes a case study in how quickly digital culture transforms suggestion into storyline. Because by the next morning, fan pages were already running headlines like "Courtroom Chaos" and "Family Feud Escalates." No transcript confirmed screaming, no order confirmed meltdown, yet crisis framing dominated the timeline. That's modern controversy in motion: rumor, reaction, narrative, consequence. However, according to viral footage and eyewitness chatter online, tensions erupted when Kandi Burruss confronted her mother, Mama Joyce, on the courthouse steps following a heated legal proceeding already centered around divorce and custody disputes. The setting alone made it combustible. Cameras lined the sidewalk, bloggers waited for quotes, reporters hovered, ready to capture a single glance or raised voice. When family conflict unfolds in private, it hurts. When it unfolds in front of lenses, it multiplies. And what social media claims happened next, that's what turned tension into viral chaos. Online accounts allege that a DNA leak had been disclosed, one reportedly connected to Riley Burruss. Within minutes, speculative posts claimed the paperwork suggested actor Colman Domingo was Riley's biological father. Let's pause carefully here. There is no verified court record confirming that claim, no official statement, no authenticated filing publicly available that supports that explosive narrative. But once that allegation hit social media, it spread like wildfire. The internet operates on velocity, not verification. A blurry screenshot circulates, a caption adds certainty, a reaction video amplifies emotion. Suddenly, repetition transforms possibility into perceived truth. Within hours of the alleged DNA leak, hashtags trended globally. Commentary channels dissected every second of courthouse footage. Freeze-frame analysis suggested shock, rage, betrayal, all based on body language interpretations. But here's the reality. Body language is not evidence, viral repetition is not confirmation, and social media consensus is not a legal ruling. Still, perception hardened fast. Because when DNA, family, and public betrayal mix together, the emotional temperature spikes instantly. Witnesses on social platforms described a heated exchange between Kandi and Mama Joyce. Some posts claimed voices were raised, others described physical shoving, a few insisted it crossed into full altercation territory. But as of now, no publicly verified police report confirms assault charges. No official court statement declares that a physical attack occurred. That doesn't mean emotions weren't high. It means the legal facts remain unclear. What we do know is that cameras captured an intense moment. In several circulating clips, Kandi appears visibly emotional, gesturing passionately. Mama Joyce appears firm, unyielding. Riley stands nearby, watching two generations clash under flashing lights. That image alone is powerful enough to fuel millions of reactions. Before the alleged courthouse confrontation even happened, the atmosphere inside was reportedly tense. Divorce proceedings involving Todd Tucker were already under scrutiny. Custody matters and prenup discussions carry emotional weight even without cameras. Observers described an emotionally charged environment. Lawyers presenting arguments, documents exchanged, each word measured but heavy. Then came the viral twist, the alleged DNA mention. Some online commentators claim the reference surfaced during legal arguments. Others argue it may have been unrelated to paternity entirely. Without verified transcripts, the precise context remains unclear. But once that word, DNA, entered the online narrative, the courtroom became secondary. The storyline overtook the proceeding. DNA is not just a scientific term, it's emotional currency. It implies identity, legacy, lineage, inheritance. It carries weight beyond paperwork. Even if referenced administratively, it feels intimate. That's why the rumor exploded so fast. It wasn't just about documents, it was about identity, and identity triggers instinctive reaction. Add family tension layered over years of public disagreements between Kandi and Mama Joyce, and you have a narrative primed for ignition. Lost beneath headlines and heated debate is Riley herself. She isn't a rumor, she isn't a storyline. She's a young woman watching private matters become global conversation. Clips show her appearing overwhelmed, standing between the two women central to her life. Social media dissected her expressions, her posture, even her silence. But silence doesn't reveal alignment, and emotion doesn't confirm guilt. What's undeniable is that being thrust into viral controversy carries emotional consequences far beyond comment sections. Some viral reports suggest Mama Joyce filed legal action alleging assault and emotional distress. However, no confirmed public ruling or verified documentation has officially validated those claims at this time. If filings exist, they have not been publicly authenticated by court records widely accessible. But the word lawsuit shifted the narrative again. It turned emotional conflict into potential legal escalation, and escalation feeds engagement. Throughout the chaos, Todd remained largely silent publicly. Some commentators framed him as distant. Others speculated he was strategically quiet due to ongoing legal matters. But silence doesn't equal guilt, relief, or indifference. It simply leaves space for projection, and projection fills in blanks rapidly online. The internet quickly divided into camps. One side argues if a private DNA document was leaked publicly, confronting the source would be an understandable emotional response. The other side counters, no emotional trigger justifies physical aggression, if it occurred. Notice what's happening here. The debate shifted from facts to morality, from what happened to what would you do, and morality debates spread faster than evidence discussions. Some commentators suggest this entire saga is less about paternity and more about control over narrative, over legacy, over public perception. Who controls family information? Who decides when private matters become public? Who frames the story first? In a digital era, the person who speaks first often shapes the storyline, but shaping a narrative isn't the same as proving it. Whether or not the DNA claim proves true, the reputational ripple has already begun. Trending associations linger, sponsors watch volatility, public figures feel the impact of viral storms even when storms lack verified foundation. When your name trends alongside DNA leak and courthouse fight, perception becomes part of your brand, regardless of outcome. That's the power and danger of viral culture. If this wasn't confirmed, why did it feel so real? Because emotion amplifies faster than evidence, because family conflict resonates universally, because betrayal narratives are irresistible to digital audiences, and because once a story hits the algorithm, it grows beyond the courtroom. 3 possibilities remain. First, official clarification emerges, the narrative cools, facts replace frenzy. Second, further speculation builds, more clips surface, anonymous sources speak. Third, this becomes a case study in how modern digital culture transforms rumor into reality before courts ever rule. And that might be the most revealing outcome of all. This isn't just about a courthouse moment, it's about how quickly stories spiral when private pain meets public platforms. It's about how easily DNA, a word carrying scientific precision, becomes emotional dynamite. It's about how silence gets interpreted as strategy, how body language gets treated as confession, how repetition becomes assumed truth. And most of all, it's about remembering that behind every viral click are real people navigating complex relationships under impossible scrutiny. If this wasn't explosive, why did it feel explosive? Because in high-profile family disputes, people aren't waiting for paperwork. They're waiting for weakness. The moment the internet sensed tension, it amplified it. And once amplification begins, it rarely waits for confirmation. So now we're left with the question that actually matters. Was there a real turning point inside that courtroom, or did social media create one?
Here's what we know for sure. No official court document has publicly confirmed a shocking DNA revelation. No verified leak has been authenticated by legal sources. No confirmed sanction or explosive order has been released. But the emotional climate has shifted, and sometimes that shift alone is enough to reshape perception. In 2026, courtrooms don't just decide cases, they feed timelines, and timelines decide the story. So I'm asking you, honestly, do you believe something deeper happened that just hasn't been clarified yet? Or do you think social media inflated a routine court reference into a full-blown family war? Was Kandi protecting her family? Was Mama Joyce reacting out of instinct? Did Todd truly look blindsided, or did freeze-frame analysis tell us what we wanted to see? Drop your take in the comments. Whose side are you on right now and why? If you want more breakdowns where we slow down the chaos, separate viral shock from verified fact, and question the narrative before it questions us, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Because here at Lost Battles, we don't just chase the explosion, we examine who lit the fuse. And trust me, this story, it's still unfolding.